This is week 4 of our revenue systems. So let me tell you what's going on this week. This week is the big picture integration, multiple revenue streams into one empire. So you've built the porch, you've plumbed the foyer. Who needs plumbing in their foyer? If you if your only way to make money is by being on stage, you haven't built an ecosystem. You've built another 9-to-5 job for yourself. Final week of our ecosystem implementation series with me, Ericka Bates. This is Talk Virtual if you didn't know. So we're hosting a panel today. We're discussing integrations for a 365-day revenue. We're moving beyond the one-off sales and into a cohesive profit engine. So what we're breaking down today is the revenue mix, how to balance affiliate income, membership, and high-ticket design packages. Sounds fancy. Seamless integration, ensuring your different offers don't clutter your brand, but build upon each other. I do often wonder about that sometimes. Scaling to 120,000, the long game strategy for reoccurring revenue in 2026. So we're not just hosting the show, we're building a legacy here. And let me bring on my first guest here. This is Elle Kersey of Lux Maverick. How you doing, Elle?
I'm doing amazing. How are you, Ericka Bates?
I am great. I am happy that you're here. I'm
Well, I'm glad to
excited.
be here.
I know you got to make money in an ecosystem. That's one of my favorite things about you. The superfluous, I can't even say it now. Superfluous money and how it
Superfluous.
just shows up for you. Did I say it
I
right?
enjoy it.
Was I
I
close?
enjoy it. That was very good. Superfluous money. Yes, I love it. I love it. It's one of my
I
favorite
sometimes
things
wonder if
about the
that's
world.
English.
Superfluous.
Is that English?
Yes, it's English.
Is that Latin?
I
Oh,
don't know. It works.
okay. Well, while we're getting started, tell everybody about let people know what you're doing with Lux Maverick and how does
Okay.
events play into that?
Well, when we first started, we were really into regeneration, right? Helping people to recover from um, old injuries, mainly when we first began. And then we got into sports because we were able to shorten recovery times from sprains, from, I know this is going to sound so unbelievable, but from weeks to a couple days without any residual issues. So then we became a really, like, every athlete's like secret weapon. And so we had a lot of data to crunch for the 5 years that we had been in business. So when I did that last year, I realized that I had created a whole system of um, regeneration intelligence. So that turned into performance governance. And so then that just became like this whole kind of, um, well, performance economics. And then it became governance, which means that there's a lot of things that happen after a person is cleared, but they haven't reached their ultimate capacity to play. So once they end up um, returning to play, they're still either have residuals or they're like 80 to 90% back. And so when the economics of sports changed so rapidly, the tolerance for waiting for people to recover became um, less palatable in the financial side. So I was able to translate the physical, so the biological part of, or the biological issues, right, into financial governance, which means we were able to actually track it. So it was pretty great. So now we're
I
just helping executives have something to be able to use so that people don't get fired. You know, coaches don't get fired, athletes don't get fired, that kind of thing. But it's because of injuries.
Nice. Okay, so now how does events play into what you're doing now with helping athletes?
Well, we do a lot of events. I've always really been into very cultivated events. If you ever watch any of our old conversations that we've had over the years. So, but we mainly do events where we're connecting maybe athletes to, say, mental health, right? So you have lots of sports psychologists like Dr. Rory Edwards, or financial people like Katie Hodge, that can help them to not only be part of, not only like have like a financial advisor and all that, but somebody who actually can help them understand like what's going on and how to manage the pressure. Right, there's a lot of pressure around sports that gets kind of swept under the rug because it's not, it's business. So those parts of a person don't really get handled. So we do a lot of events that way. We do a lot of events, work for sponsors and different things like that. So we try to be nimble.
All right. Well, let's get into our conversation about revenue systems. So, our first question here is the ecosystem versus the job. We often say if you only make money when you're on stage, you've just built another 9 to 5. For someone who is currently trading for dollars, what is the very first passive or recurring layer they should integrate into their business to start building vault? And the vault's where we keep our money.
I would say sponsorship, maybe. I feel like sponsorship is a really good way to um, get revenue without actually having to like punch a clock to make that money. Because when, as a speaker, you get paid to show up and say what you got to say in your 20, 30, 45 minutes or so, right? And then that's it. And then, you can sell your wares or what have you, but you still have to be there to do it. So if you have a sponsor and they're able to, you know how I am all about collaboration. So you have a sponsor that's collaborative and aligned with you, it's going to make sense for them to partner with you, or
Yeah,
not
yeah. I was
partner.
going to say partnership, but now, now I can't tell you the difference between a partner. So when I think of a partner, I was thinking somebody who knows or who has my targets and was going to let me be on their stage and let me be in front of their audience. And then, yeah, but I'd rather have the money with the sponsorship. But hopefully, I have their target audience and it's worth their return on investment.
I agree. I agree. I tend to not use the word partner because that has like such legal implications, right? So I feel like really, having collaborations that are time limited, and you have specific outcomes that you're trying to achieve, and there's a result at the end that everybody can agree to.
Sense.
Because if you're a partner, like you're kind of like there until, you don't really, everything becomes nebulous because it's just us, right? But if you have a collaboration, everything's defined and everybody knows what they're going to get out of it.
I did assume like everything's going to be written and everybody's going to know what's up when it's time for everything to go down.
I agree, but at the same time, like how many times have people had like quote unquote partnerships, and it just, one side is doing everything. So you give me $500,000 to put your logo on my stage. You're not doing anything else. You're not promoting this to your people. You're not part of the conversations that we're having about what we want to, um, you know, what we want the end result to be, right? And I think that, like we talked about on the Summer Tiers on Friday, that there's a whole different um, level of interest to sponsorship than just logos, just branding, right? There's a lot
Yeah.
more, and you want a lot more. The brand, right, should want a lot more out of a lot more out of the opportunity instead of just,
Yeah.
hey, let me put your logo in front of my people.
Yeah. Well, I assume a lot, and I'm trying to cut down on that. But when I talk to SaaS companies and I'm like, hey, do you want to be in front of some virtual event producers or event? Do you want to talk to them about what you do? And when they say yes, I assume that my audience is their audience, and that's the partnership I thought we were having. But let me go to the next question. The paradox of choice, avoiding brand clutter. When we started adding affiliate links, memberships, and high ticket packages, brand can start to feel like a cluttered flea market. How do you ensure your various revenue streams feel like a cohesive ecosystem rather than a collision of random offers? And before you answer this question, let me bring Pat of the Jackman
Hey,
Group
Patrick.
on the stage.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Ericka. Hello, Elle. How goes it? Has some problems on the back end, but we're here.
Hey, we
We were
always
just
happy to
saying that
see
we
you.
only look at when it works.
It's true.
So I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad it's working for you now. So let me read this one more time. This is our second question of the night. The paradox of avoiding brand clutter. When we started adding affiliate links, memberships, high ticket packages, the brand can start to feel like a flea market. How do you ensure your various revenue streams feel like a cohesive ecosystem rather than a collection of random offers? Do you want to take that one first, Patrick?
Wow. I just came in. You just throw that at me, huh?
But you do so much with I mean, you got consulting, you got partnerships with government, you do your live events and cafes, you got to partner with them. You got so much stuff going on with events, Patrick.
I think that the best thing that I can say is just keep it simple, right? Just follow your plan. What happens is that whether it's a business owner or entrepreneur, even as someone just getting started, they want to bring too many things in at the same time. They want to complicate things. You just got to keep it simple, stick to the plan, stick to the brand, and everything will be all right. When we go off brand and go off messaging, then it complicates the whole equation.
Yeah,
That makes sense. To add to that, Elle?
that's why we do the whole collaboration thing, so that everybody knows exactly what they're supposed to bring to the table, what's required of them, and what the end result's going to be. I guess I'm going to be a broken record on that, but I feel like that's the best way, because we've been through so many iterations of sponsorships, right? And now I love that Patrick said keep it simple, because I think keeping it simple doesn't mean that it's not complex.
Mm-hmm.
It means that it's clear. It means that it's written out. It means that every party knows what their responsibility is, what the action steps are they have to take, and what the end result is supposed to be, and what they're
That
supposed
makes
to get out
sense.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
completely
like to do
agree.
series.
Clarity is the key. What's that, Ericka?
Go ahead. I'm trying to hear what you're saying.
No, I was saying I completely agree with Elle, because clarity. Once you have clarity, and everyone understands what the plan is. Everyone understands where they fit in the whole equation. Then it brings about success. What happens is if there's a lack of clarity and no one understands where their fit is or what their responsibility is, and they're never asked about it, right? So the key is to have clarity. But if you don't understand, just ask the question. And it's incumbent. I like to say we do a lot with communication. We do a lot with teaching and training, developing and coaching. That's our sweet spot. But when we look at communication, communication is basically broken down into two ways. There is a sender and there's a receiver. So if I'm the sender of the message and the receiver doesn't understand it, then the message is not successful.
Yeah.
So it's incumbent upon me, the sender, and then it's incumbent upon the receiver to understand so that we are on one accord and we move forward. So if I'm the receiver and I'm not clear about what L is saying, and she's the sender, and I'm not clear as to what she's saying, she may intend it one way, but I receive it totally different. So now I have to check back in with her to say, hey, here's what I heard. Is this what you intend to say?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because, when my personal new year, I make my calendar for the whole year. I make sure that it's for my target audience, and I've got everything broken down for a thing for the year, a thing each month that matches with that thing of the year. I have 4 series, 4 events coming down, and then I go. But you know what I left out? I forgot to ask target audience. That's what they really want. So communication is very important.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I mean, it could help. Even if I just thought about it, like I've got a series on revenue. I'm not sure if everybody's interested in who's into events. I'm not sure if interested in having a lead magnet lead to their live streams. I'm not sure if they're interested in finding ways to make revenue. I've made this part series. I didn't ask anybody if we're actually interested in it, but now I know. So the next time, like March, maybe I'll put a poll and ask, you want to get in on it? So, but thanks for reminding me about that.
It goes back to it goes back, and I say this I say this in our training, and it's this fits with Elle perfectly, right? Based on what she does. What if she goes into one of her clients and the client now says, okay, I have a muscle tear that I've had for this long time. Our tissue have built up. So what if Elle goes in and says, okay, let's fix your hand, and she didn't ask any questions about it, and it's actually the person's left foot?
Yeah.
What could happen, right?
Yeah. That would be funny.
Right. So we really have to determine which, if the person says, I have a built up tissue and it's been there for such a long time. Now Elle needs to dig in a little bit more so that she has clarity and understanding. Now, where is it? And then I say, well, it's in my foot. Well, which one?
How'd you get it?
Right. So
it's been like that.
Right. So that's
what is it impacting?
that's gaining clarity.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to build in a silo. I have access to my target audience. I didn't take the time to ask them, but I know better, and hopefully moving will do better. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna remember later. Okay, our third question here is the $20,000 roadmap scaling to that $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year mark requires a mix of stability and growth in your experience, what is the ideal revenue mix percentage between high ticket, active, and memberships, affiliates, passive for a suitable business in 2026?
I think that you should have your high ticket offer be at least your monthly gross, and then sell at least one of those every month, and then everything else is extra.
Ooh. We talked about clean and simple, but I'll
Mhm.
what you got?
Yeah, I agree. You have to look at the whole picture, right? We talk about the funnel. So, and I like to give stories from my personal experience, whether it's good, bad, and ugly. It has to be a good mixture of things. In sales, we talk about going after the big whale or going after the elephant, right? So the big whale is the big account, the the high ticket offer. But realizing that you need also a mix in there. So you can't just have the high ticket offer and just go after that, because what if that doesn't turn out well? Then where are you? So you got to have a mixture of, and I guess this speaks to the revenue stream. You
Mhm.
just can't have one main revenue stream. You have to have multiple revenue streams or streams of revenue in order to get to the 120,000. But I agree with Elle in terms of having the high ticket offer, but we've also learned from the profit pyramid that things lead up to that.
I agree. I mean, I don't have like our high ticket offer is kind of like our lead magnet. I know that sounds crazy, but most of the people who come to us initially are in a lot of pain. They are like on a time crunch, and they need for me to be able to address their issue as quickly as possible. And so, you know, somebody who so that I think our I would say our brand is like the anomaly, and it's not
Mhm.
really the norm, because what you're saying is 100%. I completely agree with that, but ours is just because our we don't have a low ticket offer for new clients. Our you are when more most of our new clients are coming specifically because they haven't been able to cross the threshold to be able to get cleared, or they've gotten cleared and they can't get cross the threshold to back to full capacity. So their uh their need, right, is much greater, and so it's at that high ticket level because they have to get back on the field in the shorter period of time as possible. So our it was canceled, sorry. Our business kind of runs backwards, right? So our because our lower ticket prices are going to be like, okay, so it's not urgent, right? It's not critical, but you need to stay in the game for longer, right? So now you're coming because you have either prehab issues, or it's like postseason and you want to get rid of all the things that you weren't able to come see us for, those type of things. So we we are the anomaly in the process. And that's why I always try to tell people, like, you have to be willing to be different for your brand. What the problem that you're trying to solve is going to dictate what your process has to be. Because I've never been a fan of low ticket offers. Um, just not from us, but just in general, because usually when you get a low ticket offer, it's a trick. Most of the time it's a trick, and not excluding everybody on the panel, but you know what I'm saying. You talk, I'm talking about. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. It's usually a trick, and it's usually like, oh, you got this thing, so let me see. Look, before you even read it, they're like, you need to buy this other thing to make the thing that you just bought work. Really? I cannot at least read the thing that I just bought first? That's that whole funnel thing that I just don't like. It's like, I don't want to do funnels, so I quit doing them. And it's just like, it's just the anomaly of who we are.
Yeah, it comes down to it comes down to the type of business that you're in, and that's the bottom line, right? Because her business is unique. My wife's business is unique, so it either you want it or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
Either you want to be healthy or you don't.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying.
Or
like,
you don't.
Yeah, because that's kind of how it has always been. Like, like you don't sell Pepsis like you sell cars. Right? You don't say so your profit pyramid is going to be different based on your product that you're selling.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Like for us in the learning and development space, in the leadership development space, it's very different. Leaders sometimes don't realize that they need developing.
Yes, we are very stubborn.
Right? They're like, what? I've been a leader for 20 something years, and you're telling me that I need development? Well, yeah, because leadership models have changed.
Yes.
You can't do the same thing that you were doing back in.
You mean I can't have a secretary that's going to do shorthand for me?
Or you mean that I can't call my admin baby and honey and
exactly smoke in the office?
No. We got note takers for that. We got AI for that. Y'all don't need that no more.
I mean that I should be saying that I'm the boss as opposed to I'm the person that wants to serve you. I'm the boss and you should always listen to what I say and do. Well, no, that stuff doesn't work anymore. Leading by authority doesn't work anymore. That's a short-term solution.
Yes.
Right?
Just that whole penalty. If you're 1 minute late, I'm docking you for 2 minutes.
Sir, yeah, that doesn't work anymore. Right. In today's world, that doesn't work. So now you have to shift your mindset. So if you're not developing, if you're not learning, you're falling behind. So you're either no standstill. You're either moving forward, or you're going backward. You're either living or you're dying.
Yeah. You both had mentioned the profit pyramid, and Elle had mentioned she didn't care for funnels, and I'm thinking Elle doesn't care for funnels because she knows what's up. But everybody that goes through funnel doesn't know what's up. So when you're building your profit pyramid and those funnels to go with it, I'm thinking they should all connect to something like a higher level. Like your free thing should lead to your ticket offer, and you're that what $7, $27, $97, that should lift you up from that free thing, like bring you further. And that next step after that you should actually want, so it'll lift you up.
But Elle doesn't have that.
No?
Elle is like, here's our product, right? Here is what we can do for you. You have an issue.
Yes.
Right? Your muscles or your built up, whatever it is, you want to get back on the field. Here's what we have that can help you get back on the field. So that's Elle's product. She doesn't have to lowball anything. It's either you want it or you don't. You either want to stay off the field or get back on the field.
Yeah. Also, when I think the whole point of the profit pyramid was really supposed to be educational. So
Yes.
your low ticket offer is helping the person understand, okay, so you think that, so this is your issue, right? I can't grow my fingernails. Okay, so you're either going to come from one or two angles. You're either going to say you can put some crap on your nails and it'll make it seem like they're growing, or you could do the internal work, do some nutrition and all kind of stuff to help correct the problem internally, right? And so depending on which one it is, you're going to say, putting this crap on is the best thing. So let me show you why. So that's your free ticket offer, your low ticket offer, right? And then the next thing is supposed to be, well, this thing, this is how this works. And if you use it, it's going to make your nails grow to a certain length. And then if you really, really want to grow your nails like a dragon lady, this is also what you need to do, right? Okay, so that's supposed to be the funnel. But the funnel was supposed to be an educational step to help the person frame the problem, to understand why they have the problem, and then to give them a solution that is supposed to help them resolve the problem, right? And so when we just start saying, I just need to make this money. So look, this is only $7. Okay, so it's $7. Well, let me go ahead and sell you some for $27. And just because I'm trying to go for a money grab, it doesn't work. It doesn't hit. And right, for like us, our funnel is backwards. So you come in pretty much at a high ticket, right? Then you come down off of your emergency and you're like, this really worked for me, and I want to be able to have access to this either as a like a surety program where if I get hurt again, I can come see you, and you gonna come see me, and I'm gonna be fine, right? Or it's we want to have it set up where we're able to monitor whether these athletes are actually able to perform at the level that they're contracted at, right? So it just depends on how it's going. So the whole thing is, it's first you get that first high ticket hit, but then it's about the relationship and the collaboration of sustainability after that.
Mm-hmm.
So our back end is less than our entry point. If that makes sense. So I guess it's the upside down pyramid, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Nobody said that you had to start at the bottom yet, or the steps or that. So
Well, if you're an
fine.
eagle, honey, you can go where you want to go.
Yep.
And ours is a little bit different than L, because our model has been, we went away from it during COVID, and now we're going back to it. It's two-step, right? It's either we go to you, where the client hires us and bring us in to their organization or company to train and develop and coach their leaders and teams and so on. So they bring us into the organization or the company. Or the second part of it is you come to us. And that's where we have an open enrollment where we do a training, and individuals from different companies and organizations come to us. So we do a go to you or come to us type of model. And then we also have, from the training side, I guess it would be you come to us. Part of that would be our connection, where we may have an open opportunity for business owners, entrepreneurs, professionals, and leaders will come together at a location and connect, which helps build community, and it helps them, and it also helps us. So they get to network with like-minded people. From that, maybe some businesses exchange, but we also now build community with those individuals.
I've been thinking about doing
Um,
that, Patrick. I have been, because there's so many people who are isolated, even though they play sports, they don't have that connection that allows them to, I don't know, Patrick. I'm just supposed to have to let y'all handle that part and do it for us.
let me say this.
Real.
I
'Cause
know that we only have L for about 30 minutes, and it's like 6 minutes on time.
No, we
L.
good. I'm good.
Oh,
I,
great.
yeah, I'm good.
Well, great. So our next question is the affiliate integration. Many people treat a side hustle. How do you weave affiliate products into your own high ticket design packages so it feels like a value add for the client than a sales pitch? Or do you do? I feel like
don't.
this would be a good
Me
time
either.
to talk about.
I don't. I probably should, but I don't.
I don't. I know that's so crazy. I was waiting to see what Patrick was going to say, because I was like, okay, I'll just be quiet. But no, I don't, because our favorite place where we used to buy software and stuff from, you start selling that, and then guess what? When it comes down to it, you are stuck, honey, because you're like, okay, I got to come up with a solution that I thought I had sold to this person. And I'm so sorry, I can't trust somebody. You know how I am about building my situation on other people's land. So I feel like that's the same thing. I'm sorry, I'm out here making me crazy. But I feel like that's the same thing.
I just want to say something about StreamYard, because I only hear about StreamYard from Patrick.
Well,
Yeah,
but still,
Are you an
I don't do it.
affiliate of StreamYard?
Well, no. They add things at the end of the program, but I don't go searching. If someone wants to talk about it, I can talk about it. But if I'm selling something, or if I'm promoting a event or training, I probably should have some affiliates. I guess that's the way to go. But I've never done it. I don't know. So I don't know if it works if I've never done it.
I want to try something though. I have a couple books that I always talk about with my clients. And so one of them is Ice, the Illusionary Treatment Option, is written by Gary Reinl. And I talk about it like every day.
Without the affiliate link?
I know, but I never try to sell the book though. I just tell people, oh, you should go on Amazon and get it if you want to read it, or you can come in my office and read it, right? Because I feel like that's just that is such an important change. And so the thing that I've been working on so much is the change. Okay. So we know from on the let's say on the not the affiliate, on the virtual event side, that so much has happened, especially in the last couple years, but even in the last 5 years specifically, in how we are able to produce events, like how many people it takes, and if you can do hybrid, or you can do in person, or completely virtual, right? So a lot of things have changed, and so you have different products that you can use, of course, but you have like the outcome or the purpose, right, of these events have changed, right? So my brain always works on anomalies. I have no idea why, but it just does. So when I see something that just doesn't make sense to me, I can't like kind of just skip over it and move past it. It's like once I see it, I can't unsee it. So in the sports industry, what I saw was that two things were really happening simultaneously, but they were like counterproductive to each other. So you have the fact that the biology of a person hasn't changed. That is just static, right? You go from injured to recovering to cleared to play, right? That's not going to change because that's how that's set up. All right. So what we had to do was expand that process, right? Because there are things that happen after clearance that a person still needs support for. But at the same time, the finances in the sports world has changed significantly, right? So you have NILs entered, you have more guaranteed money. You have a lot of things that's like really making the need for a person who is actually um, able to play at the contracted level that they were kind of like agreed to, right? So that change has shifted so greatly that a person being recovered is still, or cleared is still here, but the financial pressure is here. So the space in between there is just left to no man's land. And now you have how, you have sponsorships at risk, you have booster money at risk, you have all this risk, and nobody is paying attention to it. And so, because it's the risk that's there is what has always been. So we've always just accepted it. And then when you look at how business is run when it comes to marketing and collaborating and sponsorships and branding and all, everything has changed. There's no, you can get information from AI, so it can give you a deeper understanding of your target without you even talking to your target, and you go back and you verify it and all this kind of stuff, but it gives you insight that you could not have known before. And then you have the whole situation with the whole, are we going to give a low ticket offer? Are we going to, um, like, what is our low ticket offer? Is $7 just too small? Because the information that you're going to be given at $7, they can get from chat now, right? And then the information that you're going to, so you have to be very strategic, and you have to be very, because the stuff that I would say that they used to give away, like sell at $7, you're going to get out of the way for free. You're going to give the things all the way up to $97. You're going to get that for free because they can get that at chat, because that's like the basic fundamental information just with your spin on it, pretty much. But by the time you get to, say, your $200, $300 offer, it should be specific enough for the problem that that person cannot just go to chat and get the right answer, right? So now that's, I mean, if you're going to look at your pyramid, that's technically going to become your low ticket offer, but it needs to be experiential, it needs to be transformative, and it needs to be impactful.
Mm-hmm.
You are no longer able to just give somebody some little white paper and say that's the thing, because it's not enough. So everything is
I can agree
changing.
with that.
Yeah, everything is changing. So you have to be ready. That, I think the profit pyramid probably is about to go out a window in a way. I'm sorry, but it is, because the world, because everything has changed. You have to have, there's, people
Cause
like,
and
oh,
effect,
so
like one thing leads to another. Are you
yes.
saying that that's going away?
I'm saying that it has to change, is what I'm saying. The whole thing has to change, because there's no way that you can give somebody a $7 piece of data that they can't just get off a free chat.
And that's the key to it, L. Uh, you hit it on right on the head there in terms of data, right? Because people can get data from anywhere, as you said, chat, Gemini, wherever. The key to it is that you have to be able to provide value for the person, and they see it as value. Not
Yes.
that you see it as value, but they have to see it as value above the information that they can
Hmm.
get, because the information is information, right?
Yeah.
How can you help them implement what they like to accomplish? So it goes back to, in my sales days, we always talk about identifying the person's gap, or identifying the needs, or some people call it the pain. So once you identify that, now your responsibility is to close that gap or help them to get from where they are to where they're desired to be. Yeah, they may get it from data, but the key really is you providing the necessary value to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish, closing
Yes.
that gap.
100%. Because you can have, we all can get the same data.
Yeah,
Can you implement that data, right?
that's it.
In an effective way for your brand. So now everything has to be more framing. Like, you can't just give generic information anymore. It has to be, you have to have a way to have a person give you enough information so that you can actually help them. So that's where you would be at your 300. I'm saying, like, when you're around like your fourth tier, right? Third or fourth tier, depending on your profit pyramid. That's where you have to be now, because we all can be like, oh, we need to have, okay, so the way that like, you see all the people talking about how to improve your credit score, and this and this and that, and everybody has different tricks and stuff. And I was looking at that, I was like, why are there so many different ways to improve your credit score? And then I was like, well, I guess everybody has a different starting point. So that's why there would be multiple ways. You have multiple issues. But at the same time, you have the information is out there. But if you don't know which one of those um, pathways is the right one for your situation, you can make your credit worse. you know and so um I'm just so I'm always looking for um I'm always looking at systems and markets,
Mhm.
because I feel like there's there's things that each market does that every market doesn't also do. So if you're looking at I was looking at that particular thing because of the blatant differences. You have people, oh, we can do this or we can do that, or you should do this or you should do that. And I kept looking, and this one guy was talking about um allodial titles. And if you have an allodial title, it means that the government can't come take your property for eminent domain or any of those things. But it doesn't really apply to everyone. Everyone can't get an allodial title because every property is not qualified for an allodial title. Not
Mm.
Can I
because, and
get
it
a
has
land patent? If I can't get a allodial title, can I get a land patent? You're making me get off the subject here.
no, but that's not what I mean. But I mean, I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, there's so many, because we don't know who the people watching and what their business is. That's why I'm just trying to be kind of open. I mean, more broad. But I'm always looking at different business models, because I feel like our business model is so weird. And I was like, is there anybody who does their business model like we do? And so I've seen different pieces of it, but I was like, well, I guess everything about me is weird. So there you go. So I guess it just is. So I'm just kind of like looking at that and trying to just understand, because I've never ever thought about creating a governance of any sort.
Mhm.
And when it came up, it was like, if you don't, because I was like, can't somebody else do it? And they're like, well, no, because you figured out the problem that has been haunting sports for decades. And you have to tell people. I was like, but I don't want to.
The way it works. So let me get in one more question before our hour is up. The future proofing question. Looking at the landscape for the rest of 2026, I think we got about what 10 months, maybe 11 in some weeks. One revenue leak you see most entrepreneurs looking right overlooking right now that could be costing them their long-term reoccurring income.
I'll start there. Number one is relation, right? Relation and connection. I started doing a series on this on the 30 a couple weeks ago, and it's relational leadership. We have gone away from building relations and connection. So if I've learned years and years ago, earlier in sales, people buy from people they know and like.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are focused on the product as opposed to the person, you're shortchanging yourself.
Yeah.
Because again, information is there, the product is there, but the secret sauce is you building the relationship or the connection with others. Think about this. I never, until COVID, I didn't know Al and I didn't know you, Miss Ericka, right? Think about that. But because of the relationship and the friendship that we've developed, you can call me on the day before and says, hey,
Yes.
I
right?
do it.
Or the same day, right? Because
Yeah.
of the relationship.
Yeah. And
Not everyone
I
can
tell
do
her
that.
all the time. Nobody else can be like, hey, can you know? I'm so sorry.
Right?
I can't.
But
You
because
know?
of the relationship, and
Yes.
that's the thing. Whether you are a small business owner, whether you're a leader or manager, whether you're a CEO, whether you are a pastor, wherever you are, it's about connection of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's about building the relationship with people. There's a quote that we use in our training all the time. I think it goes back to one of the Roosevelts, and it's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have all the knowledge in the world, but
Agree with
if you
that.
don't show me that you care about me, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So it's about relationship. It's about what I call relational leadership.
I like
I'll
it.
agree with that. Yeah, what you got?
I agree with Patrick. I have, I get very caught up in details, right? And I get caught up in the details because I want you to get the best result possible. I will spend, and you know this for sure, Erica, I will spend hours working on someone nonstop to get them to a place where they are able to move freely and without pain. And it I could be like, hey, no, you only paid me for like 20 minutes or whatever when you out, like, but that's not how bodies work. Bodies don't work on the clock. So we had to make space in our system that allows for us to be able to literally care about the result that the person is getting. And it doesn't matter if you are a pro, if you somebody or their grandma or whatever. We get all kind of crazy referrals. And being able to, I always think it's so amazing when one of my players were like, I need you to treat my mama. you know,
And a
like
good job when somebody asks you to work on their mama.
exactly, or my kid, because I have a lot of pro players who have kid, they're retired and their kids are now, doing a sport or whatever, and they will call me and they're like, "Hey, girl, look, I need you to like, my baby is not able to, you know." kick a hurdle or do whatever, and I'm like, okay, I got you, yeah, it's so sweet to me, because when you become part of our, I don't know, I call it like our little collective, because it's not, let me see, it's not about the money, right? It can't be about the money, because if it was about the money, I don't know. I can't even imagine what it would be like if all I was focused on was the money. Um, I would think that people would think I was a quack,
Mhm.
really. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because, or think I'm, how when, like, okay, so we all know of some, I call them speaking heads, right? And they're always like, if you do this, you're gonna get this, and people just follow them, and even if they don't even get the result that they claimed that they was going to get, they still listen to them. I'm like, you lied to me one time, why I gotta listen to you some more? But they're like, oh no, well, if it didn't work for you this time, I got a new thing that I just came out with, and it's going to be even better than the last one. So if it didn't work for you last time, you should get this new one. And it keeps going and going and going like that, right? Yes. Okay. So I don't have that luxury. If somebody comes into my office and they're like, look, I have to be able to get back out on the field before the next game, so I need to be able to get to practice so I can learn whatever and be able to play. If I don't deliver, that just ain't gonna work. You can't do that over and over and over.
But
Not for me.
there's something there, El, that you just hit on. And if you have a couple of minutes just to quickly explore that. You said that they call you to work on their mom or to help their mom. They call you to help their kids. So think about this. Would they have called you if they didn't trust you or didn't have a relationship with you? Because
Exactly.
it's kids and their kid and their mom. Those are
Yeah.
two very important people, right? So to
Yeah.
have you work on my kid and my mom, if I didn't trust you, if I didn't have a relationship with you, no way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I mean,
So
and
for
that's
me, I would say a revenue leak with not knowing who your target audience is. You, you talking to yourself, peers, but you're talking to yourself. Like, don't need to buy what you offer. You don't need to buy what you offer. You can do that yourself. So major revenue leak would be not knowing who your target audience is.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm
Not knowing who your
I
target
agree.
audience is and not building a relationship and focusing on the money, as El said,
Yeah.
right?
Also, a revenue leak would be just putting out too much information at one time.
Mm,
Because you are squandering your person, because
Done it.
nobody can take in an encyclopedia of data at one time, because they already got overstimulation, right? So you have to be able to, don't rush it. Like I want to just be like, look, this is it. This is the situation. That's all I got. You know what I mean? Like take it all. Just go on. And it just can never be that way, because I feel like I have so much to say, and I feel like a helium balloon most of the time, because most of the stuff that I really want to say, I really haven't made space for me to tell it, because if I did, people be looking at me like I have 15 faces. because it's like, I know this so well.
Mm.
I know this probably as well as I know how to breathe. You know, it's that part. It came so much as a part of who I am, right? And if if you only focus on the money, then that is your finance. That's your leak, because the money is not going to do anything. You know, your financial leak is going to be not focusing on delivering fully, making sure that your customer service is good, follow up. Follow up. Okay, let me see, y'all. I am the worst follow up person in the world. I really am. I am the worst because I'm working on it, right? I am really working on it because like I'm on one thing and then something happens and I'm like, oh, I need to do, and then I'm like, oh my God, it's like midnight and I'm still working and I forgot to follow up with somebody. You know, it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm like sending
We talked
emails,
about
text
that last week.
messages.
If it's not an autumn email that I set up ahead of time before I got started, I probably wouldn't follow up. So I know to do before I even start a series.
Yeah, but the thing is for me, for follow-ups is it's really important. Like I gotta be like, okay, so did we follow up with so and so and see how they did the day after? Make sure they're drinking the water, make sure they're doing all the stuff, right? That kind of thing. And because I just have to do better. You know, I got a lot of that put on Melanie, you know, because I you know, I'm once I'm finished working on you, then somebody else is coming right through the door behind you. So then I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I get my notes in. I got to make sure I document everything. I got to make sure that so all that is done so I don't forget before the next person comes in, right? And then where we've we've created this whole, y'all, I can't not even tell you. And this is another revenue leak, and I don't stop talking. But when you see something and you decide that you don't want to do it, like, because I really did not want to do governance. I did not want to be, because every time I do something, it's never like normal, right? And I'm saying, like, who creates a whole field of study? Who does that? That just don't make
I
no
like something
sense.
Percy would do.
But
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. It's like, you know, we were doing great. Everything was fine. We were treating people, getting them back on the field. You got a sprain. You come in, you don't have a sprain when you leave. People think that's amazing. And I'm like, that's amazing. Why can't we stay amazing right there? Why we got to be like, okay, guess what? Not only is the fact that sprains don't have to last weeks, 10 weeks, 5 weeks, 4 weeks, don't have to last that long unless you just want to suffer. And then now I have a whole nother thing. Hey, y'all, guess what? The problem that y'all been having for decades, I happen to figure out how to fix it. Really? Can't I just be a normal person since
Your calling is different, El. You're not called to be normal.
oh my god. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it had me vexed for 3 months. It
God has
did.
not called you to be normal.
Well, I
Well,
mean, I just
let
didn't
me ask
know.
Patrick about the Jackman group. He's doing a lot of things, and I think people
Oh,
need to know
what
he's
you
doing.
got?
You wanted, I didn't hear that, Erica.
What you
I
doing
want
over
to
there at
know
the
what
Jackman Group?
Patrick's doing on
Oh,
the Jackman group, because got a lot of things going on,
yeah,
and
we
how's events
always
all the things you got going on.
I'm like El. God has not called me to do anything small. Sometimes it drives me crazy because I'm always asking, why so big? why do you have me thinking like that? Because I don't think small. I always think big. It
Mhm.
always gets me in trouble because then now I'm the visionary. So now I got to have someone to help execute on the vision.
Yes.
So what we're working on now is that so in January we did a winter intensive. That was a virtual event, and that was for leaders, entrepreneurs, small business owners, professionals come together. That was a 3 hour event. So now we are preparing for our in-person spring leadership development experience. That's a 5 week training and development experience. And that's one day a week in Rochester, one Tuesday a week for 5 weeks. So
Wow.
we'll start
Is that
that.
in
That
person?
starts in, yeah, that's in person. Um, and that's April through May, April 12th, April 14th through May 12th. And then in the summer, we're going to do our Wednesday masterclass. Again, we started that last year. We're going to do it again this year. And that's a virtual event. That's 5 Wednesdays. So that will start in July. So we tried a lot of different things. Last year is when we actually hit on a pattern of doing things. So since we hit on that pattern, we're gonna do it over and over again, and add some pieces to it, like the connection piece. That's an important piece. We started that in the fall of 2025. We're gonna do one in the spring. We'll probably do one in the summer, and we did a virtual one and we did an in-person one. So the virtual one was basically to have people come together, bring their favorite drink of choice, non-alcoholic, because it's in the morning, and come together and we just talk. We just introduce ourselves. We did breakout rooms. We talk about what we're doing, and it's bringing people together, like-minded people. So we do one in person, we do one virtual, and we have a system as to how we do that and the things that we ask while we are together. But it's helping each person get themselves out there and connect with others that they might not have normally connected with.
That's very cool.
Nice.
Very, very
So,
cool.
what I in March, hopefully. Remember, I didn't ask anybody. I just set this up because I'm talking to Chat, I'm talking to Gemini, I'm building in a silo, but now I know better. So before I put this out, I'm going to have a quiz. So I want to host this series for SaaS companies. I'm calling it From Webinars to Pipeline, How SaaS Teams Turn Events into Revenue. I'm going to be talking about revenue throughout the whole year. But I'm going to ask if people are interested in the topics before I go ahead and follow through with all of this. So that's just what we're on next. Al, what do you have going that's coming up?
Well, I decided that we wanted to do some pilots because last year we did a pilot with a Division 1 football team, and it was amazing. None of them missed any games. None of them had re-entries for the same thing, and they all were able to fulfill their contract. Um, so they all got renewed with new NILs, which is great.
It's great.
So then we so what I decided this year was that we needed to do a different sport because everybody thinks we only do football. So we're going to do football, so soccer. I'm going to offer different organizations the opportunity. I'm only going to pick one of them. So I'm going to allow some team to have us for the season and to do the same thing that we did for the football team. And then we're also doing something with one of the football retired organizations. I don't know if I should say it on here, but anyway, but we're going to work with one of them. And we're going to work with the one here in South Carolina first. South Carolina wants to introduce Atlanta and Charlotte to us, and then we also work with the one in DC already. So it's going to be a like a cohort pilot where the point of it is that we're showing like after the last snap what a person's condition is, and that it can be improved even though they are retired.
Mm.
Sounds very nice. Well, everybody, this has been Virtual. I'm Ericka Bates. You have from Patrick Jackman of the Jackman Group. You've heard from Elle Kersey of Lux Maverick. Reach out to them. Tell people, what's your favorite social media platform so people can find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn under either Patrick Jackman, or you can find us under the company, the Jackman Group LLC. And if you are looking to enhance your leadership skills through training, or if you're looking for a coach, we're there. Or if you want to get your teams to make them more efficient and effective, reach out to me. So I can give my email address is info@ Jackman, JACKMAN, groupllc.com.
Well, what's your favorite social media platform? Where can people find and connect with you?
I don't really. Okay, so LinkedIn is where you can find me. Obviously, Elle Kersey. You can, and just also Lux Maverick on LinkedIn. But I think the thing that I really want to get into right now is, oh my God, oh shoot, I had thought of it. I like it a lot. It's, oh shoot, never mind then. I can't think of the name of it. It's the new one where you just kind of get to write about things, and I might not be on
Is
this
it Blue
phone.
Sky?
No, it's Stack, something Stack. It might just be Stack.
Oh, Substack.
Substack, yeah.
Substack.
Yeah, so Substack.
Okay.
I think Substack is pretty cool. Because I mean, even though people follow you or what have you, you get to just write about what you want, and if they don't get it, they don't get it, and you're not trying to get somebody to get it. You just are able to, like I said, like I got all this inside of me that I want to say, so I want to just be able to say what I want to say.
So Ericka, maybe on Virtual Summiteers, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Substack.
which social media?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so interesting, Patrick. It's really interesting. And I was like, and then one of the things too, Patrick, before we go, I was thinking, what I don't know, I might need you to be my coach. Because I don't have a coach. I've never had a coach. I mean, I had a coach one time, but he didn't really understand me. He just kept trying to, he just kept trying to, how people, are a coach and they have like the box that they want to put you in, and or
That's not
they
a coach.
well, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. But that's what they do. They try to put you in there what they know, and I'm like, I feel like where I am right now, I feel like I'm growing out of my element. And I think that's the time when you need a coach. You shouldn't
Absolutely.
have a coach when you know all the things.
We all should have
that
a coach,
Patrick
right?
is very good at what he does, and he's very good at making me see myself. So,
well, yeah, I don't know that I want to see myself.
When he told me what he told me, and I was like,
it's really helping you to get rid of the blind spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's so many. So for everybody who's watching, right? I feel like there comes a time, and I agree that everybody should have a coach, but when you are a person that you shouldn't be able to outthink your coach, right? So that's the thing that I feel like. I know that's so crazy, Patrick. I think you have a big head, a big brain, so I think it'd be perfect, right? Help me kind of figure out where I got to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. So let me say this. There's nobody who can tell me how to treat a treat an athlete for a sprain because there's nobody that does it right. Like I looked for years for somebody to kind of like help me get navigate the process. There's literally nobody on the planet. I went around the world looking for people and there was nobody. Okay, fine. So now I'm doing something totally different, and it's very very different than what I thought I was going to be doing. And so this whole governance thing is different. And I think that governance has um a I don't know if everybody knows what governance is. I hate using words that's not like just a normal. It's a financial term, um uh where you are looking at the economics of something and creating a system of infrastructure. So that's basically what I mean by governance for you people who just think I'm crazy. Because I didn't know what it was. I had no idea what it was. And because finance is not my strong suit. It's like if I want a car, how much does it cost? Okay, let me go make the money. I'll be back. Right? That's just how that's finance for me. Um, um, and so now, like I had to learn what like all the financial terms mean, and what all those things and how they impact each other, and the people who most of the people who are talking about it have no idea what they're talking about. And I'm like, okay, how can that be that obvious that people are just kind of, I don't know, they're not able to guide you because they don't really understand the situation themselves, because they're trying to tell you things that aren't really systems things to help you. That makes sense, Patrick? Am I tripping?
Yeah, it does. Well, the key to it, as far as an effective coach, is really understanding. The first thing is what do you hope to accomplish? What are some of your your goals, right? And an effective coach, there's a difference between training and coaching. An effective coach shouldn't be telling you what to do. An effective coach is the one to ask the questions and shut up and let you talk.
Mm, okay.
Right, and bring you to a point of self-awareness. But the first step is really identifying what your goals are, or what your goal is, and what do you hope to accomplish, and then work can help you to work towards that goal, not by telling you, because you know your business. I don't, or the coach doesn't. It's really helping you, asking the right types of questions, the profound questions, the hard questions that makes you think, so that you may not see it, but now by asking the questions, now you can, never looked at it like that, right?
Hmm.
And never thought about that.
Yeah. Because I'm telling you, when I this is the craziest. That's what I feel is where I am right now, because I have a lot of access right with different programs that I belong to, and I'm always kind of like trying to figure out, okay, so I know where I want to go. So like take like everybody's like, you need to scale, you need to scale. No. That is not what we need to do right now. Like that don't make no sense. I mean, I'm like, we're not an IT thing. And so people think that VCs are for everybody. They're only for tech people. They're not for my kind of business. My kind of business needs a hedge fund type of person, not or organization, because that's where um, wealth is. It wealth? Some it's some other kind. It's not VCs. Like, and then so when VCs come see me or they reach out to me, I'm like, you can't help me. You don't have the skill set to help me. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm like, you're trying to get me to scale quickly so you can like hit it and quit it, right? And then seriously, I'm like, I need somebody who's like wants to like wine and dine and buy me
That's
Harry Winston
vocabulary.
and stuff. Huh?
That's the best vocabulary.
Yeah.
That
You know,
is funny.
but it's true, right? And I just like, so I need a suave. I need Rico Suave to be like my person, not because, and it's not even like a money thing. It's more of a,
Strategy.
yes, and connections, right?
Sure.
So everything for me is connections, and I've been building them. I have a lot of different people I can reach out to, and I didn't realize that at first. Like maybe until like maybe a couple weeks ago, because somebody was like, "Oh, don't do you know anybody who does blah?" And I'm like, "Yeah," or has played in this or know this, and I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Well, just call them." I'm
There you
like,
go.
I could just call him, but for you know what I mean? Like I don't like this. I am not a pimp of my friends.
Mm.
Right. And so my clients really become my friends. And so I don't want to I don't feel comfortable just calling up being like, hey, I know you got a plane, but so can you pick me up? Right.
See, that goes back to that relational leadership again.
Yes. But
Right.
but you don't want to be pimping out your friends though.
No, no, you
You
don't.
know, you want to be like, hey, look, I've tried every option that I have, and I wanted to know maybe if you were interested in what that would take for me to be able to. And I don't want you to necessarily do it for free. You
Right.
know that's because I'm not going to work on you for free.
There you go.
No, I
Well,
mean,
let's help Ericka land a plane.
yes, Erica, land the plane.
Bring us home, Ericka.
Because I hear and listen to y'all. Okay, one more time. I'm Ericka Bates. This is Talk Virtual. We've been here with Patrick Jackman of the Jackman Group, which you can find on LinkedIn. Patrick and the Jackman Group, you can find them both on LinkedIn. L. Kersey of Lux Maverick. You can find L on LinkedIn. You can also find Lux Maverick on LinkedIn. So thank you guys for being here tonight. This has been Revenue Streams for the fourth and final Tuesday of February 2026. Thanks for being here with us live.
Deuces.